bench pressing, and Palumboism happening right now.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. And we are back, but I'm not here. But Lee Priest is here, and Jimmy Mentis is here, and we are here for another installment of the Palumbo Podcast. Lee,
I was just looking in the American Journal here, Dave, and
yes,
it's actually here now. This is the rewritten version, and it actually says list of new diseases. Yeah, we have the C to COVID and all the others, but now we have a new one that's just been put in here: Palumboism.
It's an official disease now, yeah.
It's an official disease, Palumboism. This is how they define it. One getting too freaky and muscular that his body cannot contain the mass on his frame, so a bit of distension in the stomach will occur. This normally happens if you're a big freak and a bodybuilder and you compete and look fair. No wonder Mark Loveliner never got it, because you have to be a bodybuilder and a freaky one to get it. So it only happens to like freaky big bodybuilders, this Palumboism. So Mark, you have no problem. You will never get it. There we go.
You know, it's. Can I just say something here? I don't know if you want to get into this, but I don't know.
Talk about anything. You know me. I don't care. I'm open book.
You know, this whole thing between you and Mark. Obviously it's silly, like it's childish, right? But I'm not going to get into what he said, what you said. You guys can figure that out. What I do see is a common denominator of these people who do reaction videos, right? Mm-hmm. They do reaction videos like Doucette does, Lobliner does, some other people do, but they only do reaction videos to people that are more popular, have a bigger influence, because they do it to get views.
Exactly.
Like Lobliner is not going to do a reaction video on me. Doucette's not going to do a reaction video on me because I have nothing to offer him. So there must have been something there that Lobliner did that reaction video of you.
Well, I think what happened was, you know, he did a hatchet job on Armand Adibi. So I came to his defense and then, you know, threw some shade on him. And so then he figured, well, you know what? He was out of the YouTube world for a while. So he was getting no hits on his videos. He was getting like 100 views. And he used to get a lot of views, you know, when he used to go after people like Trigilla used to do. And he, I guess he figured, you know, I'd be a good target because he knows that I'm going to come back at him hard. And he knows that, you know, everyone knows me. I'm probably in the YouTube internet world, everyone knows who I am. And so he figures, let me go after Dave. Because he won't go after someone like Lee, because Lee will, Lee's got too much street credit.
Yeah, I actually put up a nice video of him at that New York Pro Show. Didn't you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
I put up this video of him competing, and I said, I thanked Make-A-Wish and all them for making his dream come true to get on the stage and pretend he was a bodybuilder. I gave him props.
I don't understand how people, like, why would anybody do a video like that? It's like, how does that interfere in his life? You know, or anybody. I'm not just talking about Mark. I'm talking about everybody. Like how does your video or anybody's life interfere with him? Well, look, he has to go out of his way to do a video.
Yeah. There's 2 points here. One point is that there's a point that he wants to be relevant. So you have to go after people who are relevant to be relevant, okay, in this ridiculous internet world. The second thing is that there's a level of envy there, that he's a little jealous of the fact that I'm more well respected than he is in this industry, and it bothers him because of that. So he's always had that low level of discontent for me because of that. And so this was a good excuse for him to kind of kill two birds with one stone. The problem is that he accused me and like threw like crap at me for stuff that everyone knows that I don't do. He made it seem like I'm a lazy guy who doesn't work. And you guys know that if anything, I work too much, that I don't have any knowledge because I dropped out of medical school, which is ridiculous because obviously I have more knowledge than anyone else in the industry. And that my supplement line sucks when his line is like a Walmart brand, you know, and mine is like, you know, like the Mercedes-Benz. So he went after stupid things because it was very easy for me to take shots at him on that. I don't know why he did it. I guess he figured, you know what, fucking any publicity is good publicity, and he'll just take it anyway, get it, you know. But
again, like where would his insecurity comes from? From my understanding, he's a hard worker. He hustles a lot. He's, you know, listen, you can't say he's more successful than you or you're more successful than him, because
I brought that up in the video though.
Right. But here's the thing. How do you define success? Other people have kids. But when you're insecure, because look, guys like you are not insecure. Jimmy Lee's not insecure, but people who are insecure will always measure themselves up against someone else that they in the industry or in life. And they just have like this, and if they can't surpass that person, they have like a jealous envy thing. Rather than saying, "Hey, I'm going to use that guy as a role model for me to succeed," they go the opposite direction. They have to, if they can somehow vilify that person, then it makes them look and feel better about themselves. Because hey, yeah, I couldn't achieve what he did, and I don't have to respect to him, but you know what? I'm better than him because he's a terrible person. Right. I'm just a little disappointed because I didn't expect that from Mark. You know,
but the only thing I found funny about it was, if we go back to the very, very beginning when Armand put those pictures up, and then he's been posting up like the progress pictures too, and he even said that these photos had been touched. So from the beginning, Armand said these photos had been touched up, and here's the real photos. This is how I really look. So it wasn't like Armand was hiding and just putting up fake photos. He had the ones the photographers touch up to make pretty. Weeder used to do it. I used to go into Weeder's office and look at Flex. He had the smallest waist ever. He was on the cover of one issue, and they were in there making Flex's waist even smaller for the cover. So it's been going on since. But the thing was, Armand didn't hide the fact, saying this is how I look, this is how I look, because he put the two photos side by side. So
well, kudos to Armand, because I kind of understand what he went through. Like I heard what he went through. You know, and to push through and do the show and diet and all that, you know, kudos to him.
You know, he wanted to get up there again just to say, hey, you know what? I went through so much shit. It doesn't matter if I'm not my best.
Right.
You know, I'm in good condition. I want to just once again get on stage. And that's a very important first step for someone who's been through the trauma that he's been through.
Right.
And that's the thing too, people don't understand, because even like on some other shows, I know Greg said it, and that, why are you doing it? You know, you're married, you got this, you're set in life. But, you know, if you have that passion and you got something inside of you, you just got to do, you just got to get out and do it. You know, not everyone's going to agree, but if you're watching your health and things are okay, go ahead and do it, because you don't want to regret never doing it, because then it's just going to eat you up. So he did it. He got on stage. He won his class. So, you know, more to him than like people say back, shouldn't have done it. He's getting older and that's like that.
And you know, one of the things also that disturbed me, and I don't know if you, and Lee, I don't know if you picked up on this on the show, is that, you know, some of the guys were like, and Larry did this, and it was not cool. It's like trying to drudge up some stuff about Armand, and you don't put people.
I could tell something was in the background that they didn't want to mention, but they did mention without mentioning it.
But you don't want to put someone on the spot, you know, for something uncomfortable. If you're friends with people, you could talk about, there's certain stuff you could talk about off camera, you know, privately. Not everything is should be aired on the TV. So
right.
I think Larry went a little too far with that. So,
well, you also set up that podcast. Was it the night show that you do?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a free for all for you guys.
Yeah. You're talking about the after hour show, right?
Yeah, man. I came on that show one day. I'm like, never again.
Yeah, well, it's an insane. If I don't have a headache at the end of the show, then I know the show sucked. If I have a really bad headache, then I know people are going to watch it.
I'm scared to enter that podcast. I don't even want to go in.
Just change it from After Hours to like the Asylum or something.
Yeah, you know what happened? Also, somehow Greg has done something with his microphone that when he talks, everyone else is blurted out, and like his microphone elevates to this like screamingly high. I didn't even realize it because I don't hear it when we're recording. I listened back to the show and I'm like, oh my God, it's almost intolerable. I said, got to figure out.
What do you hear? What do you hear? All you hear is,
you remember when we were little? You remember when we were younger? I don't know if you remember. They used to have like these like megaphones where you would, it was like you'd hold the handle. It would be this big like horn. When I went to camp, they would have Troop 146 report to That's what Greg sounds like he's talking through. Yeah.
Hey Lee, is that what you yell to your neighbors with?
I'm like, Greg, I got one just.
That's Greg. That's how Greg sounds.
That's funny.
Howard Stern has a shtick he does in the show. Whenever he wants to like imitate his mother, he takes out the megaphone. He goes, Howard. And he right through the megaphone, so it sounds more nasally, That's
Howard, get down here, Howard. I probably need new batteries.
All right. Well,
I want to his desk. I'm like, Greg, what do I have under my desk?
I want to pull up a video. Hold on. I want you guys to respond to this because I've seen a lot of people respond. I did a video response to it too, but I want to just play it. All right. Listen, this is a video that took place in a gym, and you tell me what you guys think about
Basically, it. Encouraging them to do the max. Yeah. If you can hit your max, we'll give you $1,000. Yeah. Oh shit! $1,000.
We're gonna give him $1,000 if he hits his max on the deck.
If we're there, bro, like we got you. We'll be here spotting you the whole time. $1,000 on the line. Get it! Up, come on, up! I'm not gonna lie. You're not getting that $1,000. Hey, it's a break. Basically, we're just going up to people and encouraging them to do the max. Yeah.
Not a very smart prank with that much weight.
Let's go for a second here.
You know what I think?
What?
I think the guy was in it too.
I think that's what I think. I think the guy was in it.
Yep. It's clear.
It's too contrived. Too contrived.
Yeah. First of all, the guy's reaction when the weight fell on him, as soon as he got up, it was just too scripted. He knew where he was going.
Right. I agree.
And I think too, when the weight got stuck, you would have had a little bit of a panic and went.
No, think about it. Who was filming it? The people filming it were the ones that were in on the whole thing. I mean, they knew what was going to happen because they continued filming him, and then they followed him to those guys.
Right.
So,
right.
And the only sad thing is now someone.
And then the guy said, "All right, then you can push me," but he realized he's going to slap him so hard on the ground.
No, but those guys were comedians. They know what was going on. It was a whole, he just kind of like pushed them to the ground. He didn't hurt those guys.
I know, but social media now, some idiot's going to try to do that for real. Just.
First of all, if that guy that wasn't that guy's max. That was like 315. That guy could probably do that in his sleep. He was holding it on his chest there, no problem. He faked that he couldn't do anymore. He couldn't do the rep. They just walked away. No one in their right mind would have done that and left the guy there to die. Okay?
Nobody.
They would have just lifted it off him and said, I guess you don't get the $1,000, So,
but now it's being done. Somebody will do it real.
Well, yeah. Now, someone will actually really do that and then hurt themselves and kill themselves or something like that. Because, so let's assume it was real, which we know it's not. Was the guy's reaction warranted?
Yes, if it was real, yes.
Hold on. They said that he was going to give him $1,000 if he did it or not.
Oh, they did say or not? Okay, I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
Or something like that, right? So his reaction was because those kids left him hanging?
I would assume so, but then they said, we're not giving you the money anyway, right?
But he didn't lift it.
Let's go. Let's play it again.
Yeah, go back.
All right.
If he's upset because they left him hanging,
this is like this. This is like this.
If you can hit your max, we'll give you $1,000. Yeah. Oh shit!
If you
hit your max, bro, and then big done. Yeah. If we're there, bro, like, yeah, we got you. We'll be here spotting you the whole time.
That right there.
$1,000 on the line. Get it. Up, come on, up.
He placed it down on his chest.
Yeah, no, he's fine, that guy.
Yeah.
And watch where he goes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're not getting $1,000. Hey, it's a prank. Basically, we're just going up to people
and there just happened to be that big guy to come.
But Dave, he also says, and will spot you and everything.
Right.
And they walked away to the left, right? To their left.
Right.
When he got up off the bench, that one kid with the yellow sweatpants was walking back. Why would you walk back if you're walking away?
You should have left the gym at that point.
Right.
Look at them walking away.
Look, watch, and he turns back around.
Yeah.
See?
Well, he actually was already back. Look, he was already walking back. You're right. Look.
See? Yeah. That was all planned.
Yeah, that was all planned. Exactly.
Shame on them. They could have done a better job.
It's just like the Zapruder film. It's like the Zapruder film, the Daily Plaza. Let's break it down. That was the one behind the grassy knoll.
Let's reenact it with Greg in Alabama next year.
Yeah, Greg's got his gallbladder taken out. He won't be able to do that.
Yeah, he literally just did a half a rep and placed it back on his chest.
Yeah.
And how often is there another big guy in the gym like that to come save you? There isn't at my gym.
But think about how much traction those things got. I mean, everyone's playing this fucking thing and commenting on it. So
how many views did it get?
It's on X here, so I don't even know. Hold on.
And then it's probably been shared that many times.
It's got 4.2 million views.
Maybe Low Blind should have done a video like that.
Yeah, he should have let me drop a weight on his chest. We would have got a lot more hits together if we would have cooperated on that. Yeah.
No, he should have done a video where Amon could have teabagged him with his big package.
Look, I got to just say this. Oh, what happened to Lee?
That's what he gets. He's back. He's back.
I got to say this. Any guy that comments on another guy's penis, there's something a little gay about that. I'm sorry, guys. When I look at a picture of a guy, I'm not looking at his crotch. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm looking at his.
That's why I don't get the whole glute thing. I'm not.
But Dave.
What?
Dave. How many times have we sat in the audience of some great shows, Arnold Classics, and they turn around and we're like, man, look at his ass.
Yeah, but we're looking at his glutes. We're not looking at his asshole. We want to stick our fucking tongue in it, This guy is looking at the size of his fucking penis. I mean,
I get it.
There's something fucking wrong with that. I'm sorry. It's a little too, guys don't look at that. So that's just not what I do, at least. Maybe gay guys do.
Bikini and fitness girls turn around and do that pose with their bum. We're just looking at their hamstrings, aren't we? Yeah.
No, we're looking at the tie-ins.
The difference is we are looking between their legs, Lee, because we're men and we like women.
Right.
We don't look at men's crotches because we're not interested in that,
Right. But somebody showed, I forget who else did a video on it, and they did show that photographer's site. And every photo on there, he's done the same to the photos. He's smoothed their skin perfect. Right. They even said on all the other guys, they're pretty much not made the package bigger. But, sometimes if the pants are tight enough, you can see which side so they just almost made it like a cod piece. They just made it like, in a Batman suit. So there's really just a big bulge.
It's look, the guy's an artist. So those are artistic pictures. They don't even look real. They look like they're AI pictures of them.
Well, yeah, you could tell.
Yeah,
you can tell that they're photoshopped or AI or whatever. Have you seen some IG accounts with AI of women? And oh my God, they're like.
If we could only make those things become real, right?
What about not the AI ones? What about the ones where it'll show you a girl just in the morning looking very plain? And then they speed it up, and she puts all her makeup on. And
oh my God, I know, it's crazy, right?
Like that is one girl. She looked like a crack addict, missing teeth, everything.
Missing teeth, right? Yeah.
And then you look at it, you're like, she looks like a supermodel.
Yeah, I think the ones with the missing teeth, I think that's like almost like a setup too. I think that's not real, but
to show you.
I mean, that picture, Armand, that's a piece of art. That's not a real picture. It's enhanced. You can tell it's enhanced. He says it's enhanced. So I don't.
It's too clean.
Yeah.
But that's a great shot.
So I'm going to play something my friend just sent me. Speaking of those ones with the women, hold on. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Hold on, I'll do it again. Hold on.
But I'll tell you what is even more crazy.
This guy's funny. Have you seen him? He does those.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
You know what? Some of the biggest makeovers, I like when they actually get men sometimes, men who are homeless. You ever seen those ones who have got the hair, beards, and they clean them up, and you wouldn't believe it was the.
There's a kid who cuts hair.
When they clean the men up.
There's a kid who cuts hair, and he goes out and he finds homeless people.
I've seen that one there.
Is that what he does? And he does give some haircuts.
Just transforms them completely.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. That's productive. Yeah. That's like, it's great.
Like you give them clothes and clean them up, and they wouldn't think it's the same person. Yeah. I don't know why more people can't do that. I get some people that just give up and live on the street. But there are some people who just need that little bit of something to make them feel good about themselves.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I had that experience about 7-8 years ago when I lived in California. When I was expanding over to Asia, we were manufacturing in California, and I was living in Redondo Beach, and I would go to the Whole Foods, and I would shop, and there was this homeless kid that would always sit on the bench outside of the Whole Foods, right? So, and he would never talk to anybody. He always had a cup of water and 6-7 bags of plastic bags and stuff, right? And I would get my food and I would go out and sit, and I wouldn't sit at the same table because I would just sit around him. I was trying to make eye contact with him. And every time I went, Dave, he was there. Every time. So I broke the ice with him, and I got him food, and I just put it in front of him.
Right.
And I went and I ate, and I actually turned my back. Okay. Make a long story short, 2 weeks later, it was a while. I sat down, and he gets up and he comes and he sits with me, and I had a chicken wrap, and you know they cut the chicken wraps. I gave him half the chicken wrap, and I said, "Are you homeless?" I just wanted, I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? I said, "Are you homeless?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, and he spoke to me after months, and I said, "How can I help you?" And he goes, "No, man." He goes, "I'm better off out in the streets."
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah. And it's been 6-7 months. I kept seeing him. I'm saying hi. I try to give him money. I wouldn't give it to him. I would just put it on the table where he was. And bro, I gotta tell you, I got the chills.
Wow.
I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I asked him if he would take a ride with me, and I took him to Macy's right around the corner.
Right.
And I bought him jeans.
Oh, that's awesome. Oof. What was he appreciative? I mean,
dude, he was crying.
Ah, man.
So, yeah,
no, you're a good guy like that, Jimmy. You like to help people. I know that about you. That's awesome.
Like, I was so grateful for my life.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you gave back. You paid it forward, man. You were successful and you paid it forward.
Never saw him again.
Really? Maybe he got a job and you changed his life.
It was it wasn't expensive jeans. It was the ones that they sell for like $19.99.
Right.
And he was a 34. He knew his size, man.
Yeah.
He was a 30. I was thinking about, I was like, maybe he's doing all this to, And
he got a job, and now he's making like $10 million a year, probably.
Well, if he can find me on social media, man, I want a piece of that now.
Yeah. Maybe he'll buy you lunch.
It's funny you said there was a program I watched on. There was a show like Random Acts of Kindness, similar to that, where I always like those shows where you can do the smallest thing for someone, and it's the what
right.
we think is nothing, they think is the world.
Right.
But a similar story. This guy in New York, he's the well-off guy in New York. He would always go to the park in his lunch break in Central Park there. Same thing. He said this guy would always just be sitting there by himself, an older gentleman, all disheveled, homeless, dirty looking. So same sort of thing. He'd see him every day, so he'd go sit beside him. He said it took forever. He just started talking, how are you? You know, so maybe he doesn't want to be bothered. But this went on for months, and slowly he would go for lunch, and then he'd bring him food and this and that. They got to know each other, names, whatever, his life and how he ended up there supposedly on the bench. So then one day this guy disappeared and that, and wasn't there. A lawyer comes to this guy's office because the guy he was speaking to was elderly and that, ended up being a multi-millionaire. His wife had passed on and had no family. So what this old guy wanted to do was to be like, just look as bad as he could and go down just to see how people reacted to him and who paid him attention. And that one guy that would sit there, bring him lunch and talk to him, he left him all his millions when he passed away.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
Because
you never know.
Like there's a big letter from the lawyer saying how when people knew he had money, he got treated this way, that way. So coming towards the end of his life, I can't remember what he had, leukemia or something. So he knew he was dying, but he just wanted to see how people would treat him if he was on the other side with nothing, looking homeless. He goes, but this one guy treated him perfect, brought him food, would speak to him. So when he passed on, because he, like I said, he knew his name, where he worked, in his will, he left him all his money he had.
Wow, that's awesome. Crazy.
That's great.
You know, you never know who you run into. You know, so I got to tell you another story real fast. It happened just before we went on air right now, taping it. So I went to the gym earlier today because it's Friday, right? And then we have a date night with Tam. So we went to the gym today, and I don't know how many times have you guys told other people, Google me, right? But I think I've said it maybe 3 times in my life. Okay. So today I'm training chest in a different gym today that I usually go to. And I'm on the decline press, on the decline hammer. You know, it's a wide one, not the, there were 2 sets, right? Yeah. So I'm a little sore. So I just want to stretch out. So I'm out like this. And I see these two kids, they're in their late 20s, right? I'm calling kids because I'm almost 60. So one kid after the one set comes up and he goes, you okay doing it that way? but here's the thing. My mind didn't go anywhere to maybe he was asking me because maybe he was doing it a different way, you know.
Tell you how to work out.
I left it wide open. And I said, yeah, I've been doing it like this for a very long time and just trying to stretch my pec out. And he turns around and goes, you're doing it wrong. And I have to tell you, I didn't get upset because all I said is, hey, you got a phone? And I got a hat on. Okay. I always wear baggy clothes, so you really can't see what's under, right? I have a hat on down to here. And he turns around and he goes, and I said, you got a phone? He goes, yeah. I said, pull it out. I said, Google me. And this is the 3rd time in my life that I've said this.
and you feel bad about saying it to him too.
I felt horrible. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to see his reaction. I got up and left. So my wife comes over to me towards the end of the workout. Yeah. She goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I know I'm old, okay, but this kid," she goes, "Oh baby, don't they see you're this wide still?" I'm like, I don't know. I thought the kid wanted help. I thought maybe he was going to tell me, hey, I do it like this. Am I doing it wrong? I said, that little fucker told me I was doing it wrong.
Jimmy, listen to me. Let me tell you something. The reason why Lee Priest and I dye our hair and we have no facial hair is because we'll look old if we have a beard and we have white hair. You got the beard. These kids think you're like 100 years old probably in the gym, you know?
Because you never know who is around, right? Even when I see guys, even girls, I saw a few girls doing some exercises, and you can tell like they're frustrated, right? And I said, hey, can I show you another way to do this? Not telling them they're doing it wrong, right? And let them figure it out.
Sure.
You know, and I thought maybe that kid was saying, hey, I do this exercise too, but I have my elbows in and you know, just something.
You know what? I don't say anything to anyone anymore because I don't want to have to get into arguments with people. But if I see someone doing something dangerous, I'll say it to them. But every time I open my mouth, I get an argument.
Last time I opened my mouth was, I said, there's this young kid, I think I told the story before, on the incline. You know, everyone goes too heavy on the incline, takes it off, and he's only going like this.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm looking at him, and he struggles to put it back. And I went over and said, hey, that's a pretty good weight. And I gave him props to start with. I said, that's a pretty good weight you got there. But maybe if you went a bit lighter and brought it down a bit deep, you know, and get a good squeeze. He looks at me and goes, this is the way Ronnie Coleman does it.
You should say, I beat Ronnie Coleman.
I beat Ronnie Coleman. How many times I beat him, he's never got over it.
Have you guys noticed, and I like it, that have you guys noticed that everybody today is starting to train like we did back then? Full range of motion now.
I hope so. Are you right? I don't even know about that.
Yeah. I mean, I see a couple of videos. I watch everybody's videos, man, because I can always learn, right?
I think even doesn't Nick Walker now even say he goes a bit lighter, but he gets better squeeze. And
Nick Walker always had good form. Nick always had good form. I've seen his videos. He's always had good form.
Yeah, but I think
Nick never did full range of motion.
Yeah, but I think you realize too, you don't need to bang out those 200-pound dumbbells all the time.
No.
Like, even going 140, he's getting a really good squeeze.
Right. Well, I think he realized he doesn't need to be bigger is really what it amounts to. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Not when we were younger and would go heavy, and the old guy at the gym says, as you get older, your joints are going to back. Fuck off.
Fuck yeah.
Now you're like, oh, my shoulder. I should have listened to him.
You know what it is? What I think what people don't realize, and I see a lot of women doing this too, and they're like, women, what are women obsessed with building right now these days? Glutes, right? The glutes. Everyone wants a big ass, right? A big muscular ass. That's like the thing that's in vogue now. And, you know, they all do that. They have this butt blaster machine, and they have like this other machine where you do the hip thrust. And I'm like, they don't realize that the women that have the biggest asses are the ones that squat, you know, and deadlift, deep squats and you know, full range deadlift.
Nice lunges.
Yeah.
Right, but you have to lift heavy weight to get muscle on your ass, you know. So the exercises that are conducive to the heaviest weights that you're going to lift would be deadlifts and squats. But it, for some reason, doesn't seem like a very glamorous bikini, you know, type of exercise to do. And the truth of the matter is that it's hard. Squats and deadlifts are hard because it's a compound movement. You get out of breath. You know, you have to balance the bar. It's not a comfortable like machine you can just sit in and push against, you know, which is what the other things are. So I watched some of these girls that they realized they got to squat, right? Because maybe they have coaches that are telling them, and they're doing like quarter reps, you know, with like way too much weight. And I want to go over there and say, look, just lighten the weight up and do a full range of motion. But I know if I go over there and say that, these people can't be, no one wants to be told what to do because they have the little sheet from their coach on their phone that they're looking at. They're like,
you'd be videoed like, look at this old pervert coming over.
Yeah. So I don't say any.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I had this one kid when I was training in one of the gyms. He actually came up to me while I was doing legs. I had just started leg extension, and he goes to me. He goes, Mr. Mentis. No, he goes, Mr. Jimmy, young kid. He goes, Mr. Jimmy, can I do legs with you?
That's cool that he asked you that.
And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Never made it past the leg extensions.
Well, you know what? I'm giving, if anyone's watching this, because I know a lot of the guys in the gym watch this thing. If anyone has watched this and anyone has any questions on form, execution of exercise, and you see me in the gym, I give you permission to come up to me and interrupt me and ask me for help. Because you know what? My workouts are just not that serious these days. And I have no problem interrupting my workout to give you guys some tips and stuff like that. Because
Jimmy's story on that bench with the kid where he's stretching, remember this was years ago. Same thing almost happened to me. It was a goal to a world. I remember I was just down curling away. I'm just curling like this and squeezing it. This young kid comes over, he's like, oh, that's what you do for biceps. I'm like, yeah. Do you think it would be better if you kept your elbows in more and that. And I'm like, I said, is that what you do? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm not going to do it. I said, that would be like me walking over and telling Tom Platts how to fucking squat. I know. Yeah. He's like, because he knew who I was, but he goes, Lee, if you keep your elbows in a bit, I've heard as you bring it up with your elbows in tighter, it's better for your bicep. I'm like, I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah, the guy has 24-inch arms. He's 5'5", you know. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's funny how people critique the people who actually look good. I said, why don't you go critique the people who don't look good and give them some. And
that's like here in Australia. I always tell people, you know, when people sit home and they watch the football, look at this idiot. He missed the ball. He should be off the team. He's this. And I'm like, right. Well, you're sitting at home. Have you ever been on a football field or any sporting event? Your adrenaline's up. You got players coming at you. You got a player here. There's a guy with a ball there. He throws the ball. If there's players moving back and forth, you've got a split second to see the ball and catch it. That's all he sees. Split second. Yeah. You're at home with 20 fucking cameras on the ball. How could he not see that? How could he not see that ball coming?
You know, there was a guy on a bench press. He was an older guy, probably around, my age. And he was benching. And every time he would push the weight up, he'd lift his head off the bench, straining, very, very dangerous for your neck.
Yeah, dangerous.
And I said, look, and I said to him, I don't know if you're even aware you're doing it because a lot of people do subconscious stuff. I said, but you're lifting your head up when you're benching. I said, you got a great bench. And I said, but you're going to hurt your neck doing that. He goes, I said, I just wanted to make you aware of it in case you didn't know. Yeah, I've been doing this for years. I said, so the guy I see the guy get up and walking around, and you know how he walks? He's walking, his head is like permanently like this.
That's crazy.
He walks like this. I'm like, holy shit, this fucking guy is what an idiot. Everyone knows everything. You know what I mean? And I don't come off like ever like as authoritative. I always come off as like, you might, just like I throw it in like as a non-threatening in a non-threatening way.
So it's just because of the internet. Because look, there's so much information out there, good and bad. But I used to love it back in the old days when that comradeship at the gym, where if you saw someone doing something wrong, you could walk over and discuss it, or you'd train with them. Somebody, if they saw you were going heavy, they'd walk over and just say, "Excuse me, do you need a spot?" There just seemed to be more interaction.
I loved when people would come up to me and correct me. I loved it.
They're out of the world. They just got the headphones on. They don't care about you. You're over there. You could be stuck under a bar. They're just listening to their music. It's like
last week I was at a different gym. And there was a kid doing standing calf on the standing calf machine, right? He was doing calves. Yeah. And my back was sore, and I wanted to work a little traps. So I was waiting for him to finish the standing calf machine so I can get in there and do the shrugs, from the calf machine, right? This, because they really hit me hard. So I get under it, and the kid goes, "Hey, I didn't know you could do traps with this." So I stopped my set right off the bat, right? And I said, try it, right? And I said, are you on IG? And he goes, yeah. I said, follow me. Every day I get a question from him about training. Absolutely love it.
You know what? I'm gonna throw a name out there. You probably both know. Remember Ted Dixon? We've talked about this.
Yes.
Ted said to me, because it was a little bit fruity.
Yeah.
His exact words to me was, I know he used to hit on everyone. He goes, Lee, you don't have to worry. I'm gay. He goes, but because your father's gay, Lee, he goes, I think of you as my son.
So he wasn't interested in your. He liked He liked the big freaks. He told me that.
He liked the big boys.
Look at Ray, his partner. He was a big guy.
Yeah. He didn't like the short guy. He liked the big freaks. That's why he was always after me. But he actually. I had problems growing my calves. My quads were my legs were huge. And I had smaller calves to have a very high attached calf. And he actually showed me how to train calves properly. And you know what? To this day, I still train them the same way. And you know what? My calves got really good. And I'm gonna show you. Someone put up an old.
Yes, you were doing lots of donkey calves.
Yeah. Did you see this of me and Jimmy at the Metrex booth in like the 90s? I wish I could. Maybe I can blow it. Hold on.
Hey, Dave. How fun were those booths back then?
Oh, they were great. I loved it. I loved it.
Isn't it scary though when you
they show my calves, and I'll show you. My calves got really good, and this was right after working with Ted Dixon on it.
What the hell were you guys wearing? Where are you wearing?
They would the Metrex booth would put us in costumes at the booth, like they would. They, for some reason, wanted us to. This was like a caveman, like.
Don't go for it, Jimmy. This is the Mardi Gras. This is the Mardi Gras for sure.
All right, hold on. They're going to show my calves in a second. That's my quads. And there, you see?
Yeah.
My calves got a lot bigger because they were very high attached, and he showed me how to, like, position my feet properly on the pad, and it really helped a lot. So, did
you do a lot of seated to widen them as well?
Yeah, I always did seated first, and then I would do standing. And you know what? I found that 15 rep sets, that's the only thing I did high reps for, was 15 reps. I didn't do one more. I didn't do one less. So I would do enough weight just to get 15 reps out. And I wouldn't do a lot of sets because for some reason, I don't know if it's because I have big feet or I have no arch in my foot. If I would do multiple sets, after like 3 or 4 sets, the bottom of my feet would be killing me.
I'm the same way. I'm flat foot. I'm like a duck.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I can't wear Nikes for that. Any shoe that has a big arch support just kills my foot because my foot's flat. That kills me.
Yeah, a lot of top athletes are flat-footed. I don't know what it means. There are a lot of runners and stuff like that, but it was hard for me to train calves because of that. So I did less sets. I did like 2 sets, but I did enough weight where I would stimulate it with 15 reps, and that was magic for me. It really worked well. So I would do standing and I would do seated. So
my favorite used to be just on the back step at home, sets of 100 body weight, just get to 100.
Your calves were just freaky anyway. You just had good calves.
The reason I did that, I used to always go heavy. And then I learned this when I was younger. I used to go watch my sister do ballet. And all these young guys, not that I was pervert on the young ballet dancers, but I know all the young men ballet dancers had fucking good calves because they're always just up on the ball of their foot.
Right.
Thinking, well, fuck, they're not using any weight. They're using their body weight. And the calves were like diamonds. So I just started doing 100 rep sets on the step at home. And
do you remember those shoes that had the heel in the front?
Oh, yeah, they were like that.
Did you ever wear those?
Yes.
Did they
I
work?
wore them from one day and I couldn't walk for weeks.
Yeah. Those are very uncomfortable. Those shoes.
Oh my God.
I think they were called power shoes, right?
There was something. I saw it in the back of Iron Man.
You were like up on a platform in the front, right?
Yes.
The thing is, they were made for the gym. You could probably bring them back now, and idiots would wear them out on the street just for fashion.
And then
remember when people were wearing those toe shoes, the shoes that look like you have fingers?
Robbie Robinson always wore them. Robbie had
did he?
All the time. Yeah, it looks
those
like
were very popular for a while too. I didn't wear those either because I always needed an orthotic in my shoe because my arch was so terrible.
I think Lee Labrada back in the day, didn't he start off with more of that flat slipper type shoe?
Yeah.
The quad looking shoe.
Yeah, I couldn't wear those shoes because I had no arch support. So
I tried wearing those Atomics back then.
They were terrible, right?
Killed me.
Yeah, killed me too.
They're my favorite shoe.
Is it?
They don't
bother your feet?
I made them boots famous in those photo shoots.
Right. You used to wear them in all those.
Yeah. Lee, I remember when I saw it's always the black and white pictures, right? Remember like Dorian had the black and white?
Pro Lab, yeah.
With I think you did it with, was it Per Burnell? I don't know what it was. It was the boxing one.
David Paul,
the boxing one, right?
David Paul.
Yeah. Man, they were beautiful shots.
Yeah. And again, it was funny. David Paul would take you into those places, restricted, do not enter. It's okay, Lee, let's go in. Yeah. And as we're shooting, the police car pulls up. Oh, here we go. But the only thing that saved us was, as we're shooting, the cops come in. And like, are you Lee Priest? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't be here, but we'll let you go. And the police got in on some photos. The only thing that saved me was the day before at the firehouse, because the police would eat there, they saw me there and I had a black Dodge Viper. So they must have told the people, we saw Lee Priest with a black Viper. So when we're downtown LA, cops saw a black Viper. And they said, oh, our friends told us yesterday they saw you with a black Viper. So we saw a bodybuilder in a black Viper and thought it was you. So.
It's nice when you get a little bit of common courtesy from the police.
Yeah.
To recognize you.
Yeah, that was the same day. Yeah, they were all taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, even around here, I know a lot of the cops work out too, which is always nice because if you get pulled over, a lot of times they'll give you a break and stuff like that. I've never gotten away with a ticket from a female police officer, though. It seems like I always get a ticket if I get pulled over.
They take your license. I'll be back in a minute. They like to make you sit there and sweat.
I was at a stop sign, and there was an old person in front of me, and I think they were confused, or either that or they fell asleep at the stop sign. So I went around them, and I made the left turn, and I got pulled over. And I said to the woman, I'm very nice when I get pulled over. I said, she's like, what? I said, what did I do wrong? She's like, well, you went around that one. I said, she's asleep at the stop sign. What was I supposed to do? She's like, well, if you take this driving course online, it won't count towards your license. I'm like,
that sounds similar. Remember the big roundabout at Venice in front of the post office there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm coming down off Main, off Pacific, and I'm coming down here to the post office. I stop here because there's like a van in front of me. It looks like a Scooby-Doo van. I stop. I just got a nice red Lotus Esprit, the sports car thing.
You had every nice car, man.
So I go around, all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck? So they pull me over, and I tell you, nothing against them, but they were two women that love each other. Let's say that. I don't know what category they're in, but let's just say they. And she walks over and goes, "You didn't stop at that stop sign, the roundabout." I said, "Yes, I did." She goes, "No, you didn't." I said, "Yes, I did." I said, "That van in front of me, if I didn't stop, I would have hit it." "You didn't stop." I said, "I did stop." She goes, "Listen, I don't want to have to write you a ticket. So if you just agree with me, you didn't stop, I won't write you the ticket." Now I'm thinking, is this one of these comedy things? If I say, "Okay, right, you're going to give me the ticket?" So I said, okay. I said, "Okay, I didn't stop." She goes, "See, I told you. Now have a good day." And then she walked off. I'm like, what was that? Some sort of power trip?
Yeah, well, I thought she was going to give you the ticket anyway. Then you would have lost your mind and told her.
That's what I thought, because I was thinking, if I say, "Okay, I did it," is she going to say?
You know what I thought the punchline was going to be, Jimmy? Because Lee doesn't like to be told what to do. I was convinced he was going to say, I stopped.
And then the other way this time I went, "Okay, I'm going to say I did it."
I thought you were going to get the ticket. That's what I thought the answer was. I didn't think you would go along with it.
I got pulled over once on I-95 down in Miami, and my Muscle Fitness, the blue cover, had just come out, and I had a couple in the back seat of my car on the driver's side.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I get pulled over. I was speeding, and she comes over to this side, and I roll down my window and the back seat, and the back seat. And I had my insurance card. I had it all there. I'm like, "Here you go." And she's looking at it, and she's looking inside the car just to see if anything's going on. She goes, "Is that you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, it is." She goes, "You should know better."
Oh, no. She gave you a ticket?
She gave me a ticket.
I was going to say, that's back in Jimmy's day when he was like a good-looking model guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a ticket. Yeah.
That's
it. I thought I was going to get the biggest ticket.
You should know better.
I thought I was going to get the biggest.
You should have up the window. You should have put the window right up at that point.
Oh man, it was $110. It was $110. It was back in 1997.
Wow.
I was driving back from California to Texas. Once you get out there, Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, it's 100 miles.
Nothing, just like roads. So I'm like, I'm going to get on it. My Corvette was all worked, and I'm flying along. I slow down. I've just gone back to normal speed. All of a sudden, the Porsche comes up beside me, and I'm like, and he's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." The Corvette's supercharged. I just floor it. I go, and just leave him for dead. So I beat him. I slow down again. He gets beside me. Again. So I do it again. But this time I beat him. But then he just gets pissed off, and he takes off in front of me, gets over. I think, well, I'm going to follow him because he's fucking going like 140, 150. Wow. I got my radar detector on. I'm just following. Then all of a sudden I look down and I look over. Fuck. Here he comes. Spins around.
Oh, shit.
I'm driving. I look over at him. He's like, "You." And he gets up beside the Porsche and he's like, so the Porsche's in front of me. He's behind the Porsche and I'm behind him. He gets out the car. He looks at me. He goes, "You go."
Oh, really?
And he went up to the Porsche with his book. So I'm thinking the guy probably likes American cars and hates
That's funny.
We had a guy done.
Maybe he knew you.
But he went and got the Porsche and let me go.
Nah, Lee, he knew who you were.
Yeah. Those Texas police guys are all workout.
See, back then you didn't have to say Google me.
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Scottsdale, Arizona, similar cop did know who I was. I wasn't a big ticket. just gave me a warning. He's like, oh, Lee, hi, I see you in the things. And he goes, I said, oh, was I Speedy? He goes, yeah. But he said to me, because what's her name lived there too. He goes, don't feel bad. He goes, I gave Dana Kirkpatrick a ticket yesterday.
Oh, no. You got a ticket?
No, he just gave me a warning, but he goes, don't feel bad because I gave Dana, he's used to
Danica, yeah.
Yeah, Dana Kirkpatrick, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, we're going to wrap it up for the day. I got to do some stuff.
Thank you for having me again.
Thanks for joining us. And I am actually going to be, not next week, but the week after, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh for the North American Championship for the whole weekend. Right. So got a lot of clients there. And
now Jimmy's told that story, in my mind, I'm going to be wondering all day whatever became of the guy with the jeans.
Listen, it
would be a good story.
I have to tell you, I've been back to California a few times, and I still go to that Whole Foods, and
no.
Yeah, but
I think you gave him the motivation to get his act together. That's what I think.
Dave. I never got his name.
Yeah,
because I just kept the conversation. Yeah, I kept the conversation really small, like because he wouldn't talk. He was so traumatized, he wouldn't talk.
Yeah, I think you changed his life. He probably cleaned up his act and got off the street.
I hope so.
And now he owns Facebook and he's a multi-millionaire.
That's what I said. His name's Elon Musk. Yeah, there you go. Well,
I hope
so. Burger all those years ago.
Yeah, So, all right. Well, once again,
guys, thank you.
Have topics for future shows? Let us know. John Romano is in Portugal. He should be back for next week's show. I'm Dave Palumbo. Jimmy Mentis and Lee Priest.
Everyone go out today and do something good. Pay it forward.
Yes,
there you go. That's good advice. We'll see you next week.